All right. So we're going to talk about, hi Samriddhi. So today we are going to talk about how to build a network, social media audience on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and how to use that to leverage in your career, and how to do amazing things in your career and get fantastic opportunities using social networks. Okay. Hi Nivedita. Thank you. So great. So let's jump in, guys. Are you guys ready to start? So how many of you have a Twitter and LinkedIn account? In the chat, tell me in the chat. This is interactive, by the way. You need to interact with me. You need to respond. Don't keep quiet. Okay. So you have only Pushpadip. What about the rest of you? If you have, yes, write yes. If not, then no. Kapil has it. Awesome. Amarpal, yes, Twitter and LinkedIn. Superb. 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 What about the rest? Don't keep quiet. Tell me. Do you have idle? But I have an account on both. Okay. Let's change it from idle to active today. Want to start a app? Why haven't you started? Get started. Create. Okay. Second is that how many people are there on your network, right? On your LinkedIn and your Twitter. How many people you are connected with? Tell me for both. Quick, quick, quick. How many followers do you have on Twitter? How many connections do you have on LinkedIn? Twitter, 7 followers. LinkedIn, 1.8K connections. Okay. LinkedIn, 600. Twitter, 17. So most of you have at least some people on LinkedIn, negligible in Twitter. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. So not a problem. Now we are going to talk about why you want to have connections and why you want to connect with people on these places, and how it makes a difference to your career, and how to use it to do a bunch of things, including finding clients, getting jobs, all of that. So we're going to start talking about that, right? So I have a question for you guys. Why do you think you are why do you think you have the number, like in your mind? Okay, if you are here, I'm assuming that you want to have a larger audience, right? Why do you not already have it? What is your thought about it? What do you think is when it comes to your mind when you think that I want to have a great social media following, but I don't have it? What is the reason? What could be the reason? What do you think? Not equipped with valuable content, we are not using it right. What else? What about the rest? What do you think? Do you want a larger audience? Yes, no, maybe. Do you want it or not? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, then why don't you have it? What is the reason you don't have it? Something to think about. Recently made account, maybe unable to connect with relevant people. Okay, okay. Good afternoon, Suhasini. Welcome. Okay, so you guys have different thoughts about this, right? So so this is a very important question to start with, and keep this question in mind as we progress through this webinar, right? So let me share share today's slides, right? Okay, so you guys can see the slide, right? Yes, in the chat. Can you guys see the slides? Okay. First question is, why should you build good profile on Twitter and LinkedIn? Okay, I remember speaking to one of our clients, a student at many years back, and we have been encouraging people in our courses to write and share content on social media, and she will be like, I don't want to do this. Why you don't want to do it? And she would say, yes, I don't need, I mean, it's not possible to get clients online. This is all bullshit. There'll be some small clients maybe, but I have big clients, and this kind of clients you cannot find on social media. And I was like, what are you saying? This is crazy. You absolutely can find great people on social media. It is absolutely possible. You just have to work on it, right? It is possible, right? So people, a lot of people believed for a long time. And have you come across such people who believe that it happened even before? Like, I would say, when I was in high school, my teacher was researching something and on literature, and I suggested to him, why don't you also research on the internet? And you know what he said? He said, these things are not possible to be done on internet. You can't do research on internet. That makes no sense. Real research happens in the library. And today, library has come to the internet, and definitely everyone uses internet for research. The same thing, people used to say that you cannot actually find clients from the internet. But today, even the largest law firms, everyone realizes the importance of being on the internet, importance of, and why it is so important for every professional to be well networked, especially on the online world. Your profile is the first thing clients see, first thing the employers see, right? So for example, you have to think about it. If you give a job interview somewhere, right, and you are shortlisted, do you think before or after the interview they are not going to look at your LinkedIn, they are not going to look at your online profiles? They absolutely 100% will. Okay, do you think they look at it or not? Every time you go for a job or you apply, if they are seriously considering you, if you are shortlisted, do you think they are going to look at your online profile? Yes, no, maybe? Yeah, very definitely they'll look at it, right? Yep. What do they see when they look? What do they see when they look? Somebody Googles you. What do they see when they look? Tell me, what do they see? Have you Googled yourself? What do they see? Recent achievements. Okay. What else? Content, articles. Yeah. Rating, review, recommendations given. Absolutely. What else? और क्या है? Profile description. Yeah. How you are presenting yourself also on the internet. So these things allow you to represent yourself in a certain way, tell your stories. Very, very important. It's amazing. It is amazing that even at this age, a lot of people are not seriously investing time and effort and money into their social media presence in what people see when they Google, because people are going to decide whether they're going to work with you or not, whether they're going to hire you or not, based on what they see on what they Google. Very, very, very important. Okay. So I keep telling my students all the time that you may have all the skills in the world, but if people don't know that you have those skills, then how are you going to actually um, get the work that you want, or get the recognition that you deserve? You might have the skills, but to say that because I am good, people will find me on their own, or they will come and find me on their own, that world I think we have left behind somewhere. You can take that approach, but it's like building a great product and saying that we don't want to have any marketing or sales. Okay, imagine we build a great product, it's fantastic, but we don't know marketing, no sales. What will happen? It will not work. And that is where this comes in. Your personal marketing and sales is social network. It's one of the possible ways. Okay. And I'm going to explain to you the difference between Twitter and LinkedIn. Twitter is a place where you can have a much larger audience and you can connect with literally anyone. Okay. And because you can connect with everyone, it is not like everyone is going to follow you. Like Facebook, the concept was that your friends follow you or add you, right? On LinkedIn, initially it was like, okay, I will connect with my colleagues or I'll connect with my professional contacts. Now people have gone beyond that. They have realized that LinkedIn is not for adding only people you know. A lot of people used to do this, right? So if you know each other, just add. That was the initial idea of LinkedIn and even Facebook. Even now people mostly keep it for family purposes, add their family and friends only, right, to keep in touch with their friends, correct? But it's different with LinkedIn. What is the difference? That now people are using LinkedIn to connect with people they want to work with. They don't know them yet, but they are trying to connect with such people. For example, my personal number of people connected with me on LinkedIn is around 41,000. Now, where have those people come from, right? They have, many of them are now there is maximum 30,000 connections you can have on LinkedIn, by the way. Did you know that? You can add only maximum 30,000 people. And I don't know why many of you are not maxing out that 30,000. You should, I mean, I'm not saying that you need to have 30,000 people on your LinkedIn, but you possibly can. Okay. You can add the right people and you can have such a large audience. It's a great opportunity. But beyond 30,000, you cannot add people anymore. Then people have to follow you. But in Twitter, it's brutal because people are not going to just follow you because they are friends with you in college, or that because for any other reason. On Twitter, people follow the kind of content they want to consume, the kind of things they want to be reminded of, the kind of things that they like. So on Twitter, so there are two things. One is that on LinkedIn, it is still restricted. You can follow anyone, of course, but you can connect with people and people may not add you. Even if you add them, they may not add you back. That is also a problem. They may reject your connection request. But on LinkedIn, still it is a little easier and you can build to that 30,000 connections really fast. It is possible to go up to 30,000 really quickly, is possible. Of course, you have to keep it relevant. You don't want to add any random 30,000 people. That would be completely backfiring, okay, if you do that. But if you relevant contacts, you can go up on LinkedIn pretty quickly. You can keep adding a lot of good relevant contacts for yourself on LinkedIn really quickly. Comparatively, on Twitter, you will find it harder to build an audience, to have connections on Twitter. But the good thing is that you can follow anyone, you can tweet at anyone. If you want to tell Obama something, you can actually go to his Twitter feed and you can write a tweet to Obama and he might read it. And everybody is not Obama, but if you're, literally, if you have a client or if you have anybody, you want to work with a foreign lawyer. So today we are working aggressively on how to get our students and our clients remote work abroad, and we are working on that, right? So, but it is possible for me to reach out to any lawyer in the world because most of them are on Twitter. I can find them, I can reach out to anybody. Can you imagine the possibilities? If you can reach out to anybody in the world, it's like a magical power. Nobody had this power 10 years back, but today we have this power that we can reach out to anybody, and Twitter will allow you to do that. You may not be able to do that on LinkedIn. You may not be able to add Obama on LinkedIn, but on Twitter you can literally go have a conversation with Obama. That is the power of Twitter, and you have to realize that is why both the platforms are very important. And it is one of my regrets that I did not start building my Twitter audience and my Twitter profile earlier. I have started doing it in 2020, but and I have started getting some success after some months of work, but it is still very much behind compared to what I have done with LinkedIn. it is not as advanced. And my also regret is that why I did not do it earlier. Okay, so I wish I was thinking of it in a strategic manner, not just that, oh, I go and post something here, I post something there. That is not the point. It's like we are all sitting on a gold mine and we don't realize early enough that we are sitting on a gold mine. Okay, we are sitting on a gold mine on LinkedIn, Twitter, these kind of platforms. You can create massive impact, massive opportunities from this. It's not happening because you have not taken action. Okay, and that is the problem. Okay, we have to, I mean, how many of you agree that you have not thought about LinkedIn and Twitter as a very important career making factor? Okay, and therefore have not taken action so far? Anybody here like that? That you have not realized how powerful Twitter and LinkedIn can be for your career? Okay, and therefore you have not taken action. If this is the case, write yes in the chat. If you have already been taking action, then write no. Skill matters. Skill is very important. Okay, but alone skill is not going to do it. There is this kind of a misinformation and myth amongst people that you are, if you are good with, if you have great skills, then everything will be taken care of. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. Okay, because somebody else who has equal amount of skill, okay, and is good at sales and marketing is going to win. Imagine two people both have the same level of skills. One person is good at sales and marketing and is finding ways to build a network, or actually reach out to people so that people know that I have a skill. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a small example. Many years back, I love giving this example. Many years back, I had a student who I encouraged to write blog posts and publish. Okay, and once she started publishing, her neighbor, and she was a cyber lawyer, right? When she published the articles and then she obviously shared it on her Facebook, okay, and immediately her she started getting calls from her childhood friends. Oh, I have this problem, can you help me with this? Even her neighbor, next door neighbor, who knew she's a lawyer and they often talk, and she had a matter and she came to her and told that, can you help me with this? Now imagine, even your family probably doesn't exactly know what you do. Okay, how many of you realize that maybe you are a specialized lawyer? Does your family, everybody in the extended family, understand what you do or know what you do? Maybe not. Imagine that you have schoolmates who have now grown up, right, and become something, right? Maybe they have their business, maybe they have something else, maybe they are a decision maker in some MNC, and all of them don't know what you do. Do they know what you do? How many of you are lawyers here, right? Lawyers in the chat. Yeah, how many of you are law students? Right? Lawyer, law student, whatever it is. Just write law student if you're a law student, lawyer if you're a lawyer. Okay, imagine those of you who are law students, imagine that all your future employers are there on Twitter and LinkedIn, and they could potentially discover you from those places. It has happened to my past students that they have written such brilliant, many of you say, I'm not getting internship opportunities. People have written such good articles and published and then shared it on their social media, okay, on LinkedIn, and lawyers have reached out to them offering internships. Law firm associates have reached out to them saying that you are so good, you have written so well, would you do an internship with us? Imagine, okay? It is possible. And it's not that you have to wait till they reach out to you. You can very well reach out to them. Now imagine that your clients in the future, they are also, or everyone is consuming content on Twitter and LinkedIn, and you can be there and you can completely change your life, turn around your life using the power of social media. Okay, whether you're a lawyer or law student. So, but what is missing is action. You have to take action. Without action, nothing will happen. And I'm going to give you reasons, and I'm going to tell you what to do, but you will have to go and do that. Okay. So all your clients and future employers are on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Keep that in mind. And jobs. Okay. How can you, if you're looking for a job, how should you use social media? Can someone tell me quickly? Let's say, imagine that you're looking for jobs. How can you use social media? Here is the advice I give to my students. Okay. I tell them that first make a list of 30 people you want to work with. Okay. Imagine your best possible people that you really want to work with. Let's say you want to work in arbitration, right? Who are the lawyers who are doing excellent work in arbitration in India? Who are the law firm owners or partners who are doing excellent work in arbitration? Okay. Can you connect with them on social media? If you send requests, some people will accept, some people will reject maybe. That doesn't matter. The point is that if you are able to connect with 30 people on social media who are potential employers for you, then you can start posting things and they will start seeing your posts. That can influence them, that can create a relationship. You can go comment on their posts. You can actually comment below their posts, and you can start building a relationship. Okay. I am asking you to think like this if you're finding a job. So, okay, finding a job is simple. If you have the right skills, if you don't have the skills, that's a different ball game. If you don't have the skills, this will not help you. But if you have the right skills and your challenge is this, that I have the skills, but I am not getting an opportunity. Somebody is not considering me because I don't have any contacts, because I am from such and such law school, nobody knows this law school, or I am at a disadvantage, and so on. Many of you have this problem, and you can immediately overcome it by connecting with people on social media, and you get an opportunity to impress them, right? You know very well that finding a job is a matter of showing to people that, look, I am a good fit. Okay, I am a good fit. It's not like you start going and telling people, give me a job, give me a job, give me a job, and they'll give you a job, right? What some of you do is that you go on social media and you start messaging people saying that I'm looking for a job, can you help me? Do you think that's going to help you? No, that's not the point. That's not how it works. How it works is that, imagine you have these 30 people and you have the next 3 months to impress them. How are you going to impress them over the next 3 months? What are you going to do on social media that they will get impressed? This is a thought. You need to think about it. And not everyone will have the exact same strategy. People will come up with different options. But if you are hunting for jobs, I'm giving you an example how you can use social media. Let's say you want to find clients. Okay. You know very well that in India, lawyers cannot advertise. Lawyers cannot solicit work. Okay. That is not allowed. But lawyers at the same time have a right to educate people. They can educate their potential clients, right? I can write and publish. That is freedom of expression, and that is allowed, right? So if I'm a lawyer, am I prohibited from writing about arbitration law? Am I prohibited about writing about IP law in public? Nothing like that, right? I can go ahead and write as much as I want, correct? And the best way to find clients for lawyers, proven over time, is content marketing. What is content marketing? You are educating your clients about their problems that they are facing in a way that they appreciate that help, that content so much that they are going to come to you because they want to know more. For example, if I explain on a video how anticipatory bail works in India, then somebody who's going to watch videos about anticipatory bail, people who need anticipatory bail, they'll want to know, right, more about anticipatory bail. So now if they have watched my video and they have benefited from it and they have got educated from it, then there is a high chance that they might approach me for help, right? And this is exactly how many lawyers are very successfully building their practice in India. Okay, and it's amazing. And it's strange that many lawyers are not even thinking about this, not taking this opportunity, because by educating your clients, you can at once create relationships with hundreds and thousands of people even, and they already have a good opinion about you. They have trust in you before they come to you. Can a lawyer publish content which not only helps clients but also students? Absolutely. Why not? Right? Absolutely can. Okay. And it's also a great idea to educate students, by the way. You know why? Because the students you're educating today are going to be lawyers of tomorrow. They will work in companies, they will work in other courts, and they will refer matters to you. They will, if they like who you are, and if they like the kind of work you do, and if they know that you have great knowledge and skills, which I'm assuming you have, otherwise nothing will help, as I say, keep saying, right? It is such a great opportunity. Okay, if you think that teaching students is charity, then you are blind. You are not realizing that teaching students is an opportunity to build a network. It is massive. You are influencing hundreds of people in a class at once. That means in the future, those people who are impacted by you and appreciate you are your potential clients. They are your potential referral network. Okay, so I have known lawyers, okay, who are really bad at building a practice, right? So they are not able to develop their practice for years, but their interns loved them, and their interns appreciated, like they didn't have any kind of business development skills, right? But they were good lawyers. And any intern, like over the years, many people interned with them and realized that this is a very good lawyer, and they would, interns, when they become lawyer elsewhere, they will send work. They started working in law firms, they started working in different places, they started sending work. So this is very powerful. So if you're educating students, it is one of the best thing you can do, because you are creating your network still. Collaboration opportunities, right? So many of you may realize that, okay, I want to network with a Japanese lawyer because there is so much arbitration happening involving Japanese companies, and I want to be connected, or I want to be associated, like there is a lot of arbitration happening in Singapore, and I want to be part of Singapore arbitration. How can I do? How can I do? Can I collaborate with some law firm there? Can I find somebody who will mentor me online, mentor me about how to go about it? You can actually find all of those opportunities on the internet through social network. Okay, it's an amazing opportunity. Okay, tell me, what kind of opportunities are there for you on social media? What do you want from, if you are going to build an audience on social media, what do you want from it? Answer in. Somebody is saying advertising is not allowed. Yeah, of course, advertising is never allowed. Okay, advertising is not allowed for lawyers. I'm not saying you should advertise. You can find work, internship and job. Good, 𝗹𝗲𝗃𝗲𝗃𝗲𝗿. What else? Internship. You can get internships. Shubham. Co-authoring opportunities with industry leaders. Amazing. You can actually collaborate with a foreign lawyer to write an article together, right? And that may be very interesting. Comparing, let's say, the arbitration laws or IP laws in India versus Korea with a Korean lawyer. That could be a very interesting read. And it would be very important for all the businessmen doing business between India and Korea. Correct? It's an example. You can earn money. Sure, you can earn money from social media. Okay, what other opportunities? Be creative. Co-authoring is a good example. What else can you do? Nothing. What do you guys want? I see there are 50 people in at least on Zoom. There are 21 people on watching this on YouTube. I'm asking you, what do you want from social media? You want mentorship. Good. You want referral network. Other people to refer you are great. What else? Network. You want networking for what? What do you want, Suhasini, out of it? Eventually, what do you want? You want clients? You want job? What do you want? Take help. And what else can you do? You can build a reputation very well. Parabjit, very correct. You can build a reputation. Be successful to do work like successful people do, okay? Freelance work. If you want freelance work, very important, right? You can get it from social media. Solving problems. You want to solve a big problem. You can find people to collaborate with. You can find people to start a company with. You can get parallel work from foreign companies. Very good. You can stand out of the crowd as a leader in your own niche. Very good. Very good. Amazing. Okay. So there are so much opportunities. So you want these things. So how to do it? You have to build an audience. What is going on? Okay, it's not about adding people. First of all, you have to. There is a mind. How many of you have this in mind that being on social media means adding people, right? Do you think like that? That being how to be successful on social media, I have to add people. Are you thinking in terms that I have to add people? Because if you're doing that, that's not how it works. Okay, you have to earn people's follow. You have to earn people's interest, that they are interested in the content that you're posting, that whatever you are doing, they are interested in you, they are interested in the content that you're posting. So it is not about adding people at all. It is about building an audience. Okay, can you start thinking of social media as not a place where you go to consume content, but it is a place where you go to an audience. It's like your personal media company. Imagine, why do politicians often want to have their own newspaper? Have you thought about it? They want to have their own newspaper. They want to have their own TV channels. Why? Why do they want that? Okay. Why do they want to have their TV channels, propaganda? Okay, you can say so. But to deliver their views, they need to make sure that their ideology, their views, their ideas have to reach people, right? People should hear their side of the story, which is why now political parties try to have their own media because it's so important. Companies also want to have their own media, their own blog, their own Twitter, Facebook, etc. Why? Same reason. They want to reach their views, their ideas, their content to reach people. Now that is the same thing. You need to think like that I am building my own media company. I am building my own outreach. I can reach out to people through this, right? Somebody is saying, 𝗹𝗲 just mentioned a very important thing. Lots of polarizing voices are there on Twitter, on social media, and it feels toxic. Okay, how many of you feel this way? Right? Yes, if you feel that way, that Twitter is toxic, it is depressing to be on Twitter. Have you experienced that? I have also experienced that. So right, yes, if you have done that. Instagram is toxic. Okay. Okay. If your Instagram is toxic, if your Twitter is toxic, it is because in the past you have interacted a lot with such toxic content and you have been following okay. The blame is on you, my friend, that you are following toxic people and you have interacted with toxic things before, because the algorithm works in such a way that it will show you the kind of content that you interact with. Yeah, there are some bad people also who will come and comment nonsense, but you can block them, you delete them. What do you do if you go to a party and there is a person who's really bad, saying bad things about you, or you just ignore them, you stop meeting them, you just ignore them, right? Exact same rule applies on social media, right? Because in a real life you may not be meeting so many people, you may be meeting only 10 people, 20 people, right, in a real life scenario. But online you're meeting thousands of people, so its scale is huge. Like thousands of people may be reading your content, whatever you're posting is being read by thousands of people. Now out of those thousands of people, do you think a few will be really bad people who will write? It's very natural, right? You just have to block them, right? As simple as that. And if you are finding otherwise, if you are getting a lot of bad content on your feed, it is because you interact with such content. Somebody is outraging about something and you start commenting on it. Then Twitter, it happened to me, right? So I was following a lot of journalists and I was following political stuff on there, and I was interacting, liking those tweets and commenting on it. So in no time, Twitter started showing me more and more and more such content. Okay. And then I realized, oh my God, it's like every time I open Twitter, I get depressed. So I then stopped following all those people and I started following the kind of content I want to see, who are posting positive content, right? And then now every time I feel open my Twitter, I get inspired. Every time I open Instagram, I get inspired. Okay. Because I have such good people that I'm following, that I'm getting to know that. I'm getting to know those things, right? So I get inspired instead of feeling bad. But you can understand then that the kind of content I want to follow, I want to be there. I want to go and interact with such people on Twitter, on LinkedIn. What attracts me, what makes me excited, what inspires me, right? And it's amazing that you have the opportunity to also put such content and attract those kind of people. Okay, I'm going to talk about what kind of content, Nivedita, very soon. Now, who is your ideal audience? This is a question you need to decide, because you are not on Twitter. You don't want to have the same audience as, let's say, Rahul Gandhi or Narendra Modi or a journalist, right? That is not why you are on Twitter. You need to be clear. That is why I asked you, and what do you want out of Twitter? What do you want out of LinkedIn, right? So what do you want out of it, right? Somebody is asking, should I also do course of digital marketing too with law? No, that will not help you. You don't need to do a course on digital marketing. Just listen to this, you'll get it. It's not so difficult that you'll go and do a course for this. Just hear me out. Okay. Who is your ideal audience, right? Think about it, right? You don't want let's say 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 is a famous journalist and he has millions of followers, right? Or let's take some lawyers, right? Prashant Bhushan is a famous lawyer, has a lot of followers. Do you want the same followers? Probably not. Okay. It is relevant to your work. What would help you to have what kind of audience do you want? What is relevant to you, right? This relevancy is very important to keep in mind. A lot of people go on LinkedIn, and a rookie mistake people make is that they add up anyone and everyone. Okay. How many of you have done that? Going and adding your friends who may have no relationship. They need not be your audience, right? If I go and add, say I write a lot about law, and I go add a lot of people who are techies. They are not lawyers, they are engineers, and they are not my clients. My clients, let's say, are lawyers. So if I go and add a lot of engineers, techies, journalists, then what will happen? My content will not get traction, because they will see my content and they will not interact with it because it's not relevant for them. So nothing will happen out of that content. Do you realize? So it is very, very important that you identify your ideal audience. So depending on what you want. So if you want a job in arbitration, then your relevant people are arbitration lawyers, because you want a job with arbitration. Now, if you want clients as an arbitration lawyer, then not necessarily that, they are not your ideal audience. Then your ideal audience are companies, businessmen who might want arbitration support. Who need lawyers for arbitration, right? So who are those people? So you need to think deeply about your audience. What kind of audience I need? What kind of audience is ideal for me? Right? So who is your ideal audience? Write in the chat. What kind of people you want to connect with on Twitter and LinkedIn? How to deal with those who send us connection requests which are not relevant to us? Reject them. Don't do anything. They'll not be able to add you, right? Corporate and clients. Who else? Who are those? Corporate. You cannot add corporates on LinkedIn, right? So who will you add? Which function? Marketing heads? Legal heads? Who are relevant for you? Legal heads, law firm associates, partners, startups, law students. Very good. Okay. Startups, you have to add people from startup founders. You have to add them, right? Not the admin executive at the startup, not the HR head at the startup, right? Maybe HR head at the startup, if you have a labor law practice, then you might want to add all the HR managers, right? So you have to realize who is your audience. Trademark attorneys, great, right? So you have to identify that this is my audience. Okay, this is the first step. If you do not know who is your audience and you are trying to please everyone by writing every kind of stuff, nothing will work. And you're adding everyone, nothing will work. So many of you do not get any results from social media because you have not even thought of this, that who's your ideal audience and who you need to connect with. Okay, so before you start anything, you need to think about this, that who's my ideal audience. They should be there on my connections, right? And I have to connect with them. How to connect with them, we'll get to that later, but at least this clarity of thought should be there. No problem if it is small audience, by the way. Say somebody saying that, I only want to connect with trademark attorneys. No problem. Just write content for them. It may be a small audience. It's not like you are trying to be an influencer on social media, right? If you are trying to, no problem with that. Okay. But if not, if you have a small audience, it doesn't matter. Maybe you want to only network with trademark attorneys, or you only want to network with competition lawyers because that is where your interest area is. That's fine, because you want to be a competition lawyer and there may be very few competition lawyers in the country or around the world, but you are going to exclusively connect with them. It is a small audience, no problem, because that is your interest. And later, if your interest changes, your audience will also have to change. So keep that also in mind. No problem, it is a small audience. Content strategy. You need to think of a content strategy, okay? Because you are becoming a content, most of your content consumers on social media. How many of your content consumers, you go and read, comment, watch what other people are posting? You do that, right? Most of you do that. Most of us do. Even I do that, right? I'm a content consumer. But you have to become a content creator. Okay? How many of your content creators that you actually take this seriously, that you create content to post on social media? Okay? How many of you do that? Okay, so you have to do that, and you have to have a content strategy. Okay, many of you have tried once or twice, and that is also another problem. If you just try once or twice, it's not like it will happen. Like I do one post and it goes viral and everything happens. It's not like that, right? In fact, I'll tell you why it never works to post. You have to keep posting for this to work, because it's an audience, right? If a TV channel stops, imagine a TV channel or a newspaper which publishes randomly. Okay, someday they publish, someday don't publish. How will it work? It doesn't work well, right? You want something which is regular. Okay, if it is a weekly magazine, then it's a weekly magazine. Okay, if it is every day, then it is every day. but you cannot say that you cannot switch on and off. And second, you have to think of it like building audience. It's like compound interest. Okay, so when you start, it is very slow. When you build an audience, it is very slow, and I'm going to explain to you in a bit why that it is slow, and it is supposed to be like that. But over time, it picks up speed. Now, content strategy. Okay, let's talk about this first, because once you've identified audience, next is you need to know what content you are going to post. Okay, so if your ideal audience is competition lawyers, right, then who are the people who are going to, those competition lawyers, what do they want to read? What do they want to see in videos? What is their interest about competition law? So what content will you post? Now, if you're going to write for, if your ideal audience is different, then your obviously your content strategy will also be different. But you need to come up with a content strategy that I'm going to write this kind of content. Maybe that I'm going to write about every important competition commission decision. Okay, I am going to write about development of competition law around the world, and I am going to keep posting this every day, right? So that content strategy is very, very important. You have to have a content strategy. If you do not have a content strategy in place, then you will not succeed, right? So how many of you have a content strategy? Do you have a content strategy? Did you understand what is content strategy? Yes, no, maybe in the chat quickly. Maybe you don't have a content strategy yet. Don't worry about that. Okay, you can sit down and plan it, that what kind of content can I post that my ideal audience will lap it up, will be excited to read this, would want to follow this. So for example, for me, my ideal audience is lawyers and law students. So I write about things that lawyers and law students will like to read, and I give you further things, right? Another very, very important thing to keep in mind, that stories have great success rate. So if you explain something technically on social media, it may not work. It may not get traction. But if you tell a story, if you explain a story, if you explain it through a story, whatever point you're trying to make, if you explain it as a story, then it will work much better. For example, so story is one kind of content strategy, that I'm going to post more stories in a story format. Another way to look at it is that I give updates. So another kind of content strategy is that I give people quick updates, and people follow me for updates. Why do journalists have so many followers on social media? Can you guess? Have you ever thought of it? Why journalists have so many followers on social media? Because they are always giving updates. Now imagine that you are a competition lawyer, and there is somebody on Twitter that you come across who always gives all the updates. You know, if I follow this guy, I will get all the updates about competition law, what is happening around the world. Will you follow that person? Yes, no, maybe? Yes, as simple as that. And you could be that person for your ideal audience. So there are different strategies. As you can see, there is story is one kind of strategy, that you write such interesting stories that people like and share, and they learn something from it. So maybe it inspires them. It can be different strategies, right? Maybe you write really funny stuff and people really enjoy reading that funny stuff, right? So you might build a following for that. But you need to have a content strategy, and I cannot tell one content strategy that fits everyone's purpose. You have to make your content strategy as per your requirements and your ideal audience. Now it's clear? Okay. How to be social on social media? Remember, it is very important, especially initially, to interact with other people who are already having a large audience. So for example, if you are on Twitter, who are the other people in the same area? Let's say you are writing on competition law. Is there anyone else writing on competition law? You should follow them. you should comment on their post. If anybody is posting on competition law, you should be posting on it, commenting below their post. You can give your reaction, you can give your insights, you can give your ideas below those posts, and you will see that itself will start showing traction, and more people will discover you and your content through such interaction. Okay, so it's very important that if you are spending time creating content, that alone again is not enough. The other part of it is to go and comment. So one thing I tell my students is that please tag me on any post that you make on LinkedIn, Twitter. I will go and comment on it, because if I comment on it, then my followers will get to see your posts. Okay, this is why you might see that a lot of people who are posting, who are LawSikho students, when they're posting something good on social media, they're tagging. So sorry, excuse me. So it's very important to be social on social media. Okay, how many of you already do this, that you go and comment on the other people's posts which is getting traction? Sometimes I have posted below a famous person's post and I have got like thousands of likes and reshare, 500 reshares. Okay, so it happens, and then more people will discover you. So it's very important. Okay, how many of you don't ever comment? That's not going to work. You have to comment. Both in, you will get noticed by writing really content. Initially you post, definitely, but you also post on other people, comment on other people's posts. Nobody is interacting with my post. How many of you have this problem, that I posted something but nobody is reading it, no interaction is happening, nothing is happening? So Hasini, I get a lot of people tagging me at once, so I may miss some of them, but I try to do it. I'll try to do it. I'll do my best. Anubhav given his content strategy. Very good. Yeah. Nobody's interacting with my posts. It's happening to you. Okay. First of all, then two things might be happening. One is that either you have a disconnect, you have the wrong audience, you have not built an audience at all, and you can build. So you have to identify your ideal audience and start connecting with them. You start following them, you start commenting on their posts. Slowly they will discover you. This is the idea. Okay. When I started post, even my Twitter is not very successful, by the way. Even now, if I post something, I may get 5 likes, 10 likes. That's it, right? And maybe sometimes 20, 30 likes, not more than that. It's very less. Comparatively, if I post on LinkedIn, I get massive traction. Okay, maybe 200, 300, tens of thousands people seeing it. It's not the same. But that's okay. When I started posting on Twitter in 2020, I was not even getting 5, 10. I was not even getting 1. Nobody may say anything at all. But as I keep posting and as I keep interacting, over time, the followership goes bigger and the right kind of audience comes. Then they start interacting with me. Okay. And then slowly my audience is building up over time. So this will happen to you also. When you start, you will get no traction at all. Okay, people are nobody is interacting with your posts, and you're like, oh, what is happening? Nothing is happening. Okay, but do not give up. It will take months. Maybe I started getting some results in Twitter in 6 months. I kept posting for 6 months continuously, and I started getting some result now. And I know as I keep it up, it will keep growing massively over time. Okay, someday I may have, if I keep doing what I'm doing, over time I'll get more and more and more. This is how it works. That's exactly what happened on LinkedIn, right? So in the last 1 year, 12,000 people followed me on LinkedIn. Following, not even connection. I can't accept any more connection requests. So people are following me, and same thing will happen on Twitter. It's already happening, right? So slowly it has started happening. So very important. How often should I post? Okay, I believe that posting at least once every day is very important. It's like a habit you develop. Okay, you can post twice, thrice. I believe that you should post. If you want faster growth, You have to post twice, thrice, more times. And I have seen some people posting even 10, 20 times a day. They have a lot of time. One problem you will face is that you don't have so much time. You don't want to spend all your time on social media. So if this is your full-time job, that are a social media influencer, you can keep posting. But no, mostly you don't need to do that. Even if you don't have time, try to make a habit that, okay, I post once every day, maybe. Every day I post, okay? Or once a week I post, at least, right? Less than that is not going to work. But it's very good idea to create a habit of posting once every day. How long will it take? It'll take 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, honestly. It takes time. Depends also what is your audience. Exact, nobody can say. But I can assure you that if you keep doing it for 1 year, you will start seeing great results. So if you are here for me to give you some quick fix that in 1 month you will start get results, you will start getting some results maybe. Okay. But to truly build an audience where you have thousands of followers and you are able to reach out to so many people at once, it will take time. It may take a year at least. Okay, so you should at least give it a year to see results, posting every day for a year. Okay, Twitter is harder to build. Twitter is much harder to build than LinkedIn because LinkedIn has more organic reach. But Twitter also, when you succeed on Twitter, it's big. So you have to keep in mind that building Twitter profile is very important, very good idea. Okay, think of it like a habit you need to create. Okay, do not think of it this as a one-off task that, oh, I posted something happened, did not happen. No. Okay, you have to build a habit that every day I do this, every day I create content, every day I post, and it's worth taking out half an hour, 1 hour a day to do this. Look at it as a work. It is not play, it's not a game. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so what results can you expect? What results can you expect? Okay, if you do this for a year, what results can you expect? Honestly, when you have a strong network, it's easy to get work, it is easy to get clients, it is easy to get amazing opportunities. For example, foreign paralegal work. Okay, if you want to work abroad, you can remote work has opened up. So let's say you want to work with foreign clients remotely from India, or foreign lawyers, you want to work with do internship with them, or you want to do paralegal work for them. All of that is possible now. But social media, for example, can enable this. And you can even help other lawyers abroad to manage their social media. If you can learn this skill and you can do it for yourself, then you can go and tell others that I'll charge you 50,000 rupees per month. I'll do this for you. Are you interested? And they'll say, yes, okay, please do it, because it is very important for everyone today, right? And there are big law firms, there are great opportunities, that you come and build these things on Twitter and LinkedIn presence. Okay, all right, but it will take consistency. Okay, so how many of you are already connected with me on Twitter? Are you connected? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, if you're not connected, connect with me on Twitter. That'll be great. I'm sharing the link here with all of you. Someone is saying if you don't post, at least post 7 posts a day, then you are irrelevant. I won't take that approach. Lot of lawyers do not have time to post so much, and neither is it necessary. Even if you post once a week a great content, it might work really well. Okay, you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I understand, but I cannot accept more connection requests. There's a limit of 30,000 and I've crossed that. There are 42,000 people. So if you are on LinkedIn, follow me. That's no problem. You can comment on my posts. That is also absolutely fine. But you have to realize that I have a limitation, and that is exactly what you need to keep in mind. You can follow if you want to connect with somebody who's not connecting with you. No problem. Don't send even connection requests. Follow them first, right? And comment on their post. You can get in touch with them even that way. but even if somebody cannot add you, like in my situation, I cannot add you because I don't have any more free slots to accept connection requests. Okay, so let's stay in touch. This is what I wanted to tell you. Is there anything else? Okay, I have a webinar tonight as well. Okay, it is about how I built a formidable network as a first generation lawyer or law student, right? This is also very important for many people say that I'm a first generation lawyer, I'm not getting any opportunities, nobody is giving me work, blah blah blah. The simple solution, guys, is you have to build a network for that, right? And I am sharing here with you the link for that. If you guys want to join, please join. And networking is not about just connecting people. It's like going and adding people on LinkedIn. It's not going to do anything for you. It is about not knowing people. It's about how people think about you. What do they think about you? Okay, are they ready to help you? Are they ready to support you? All of that is important. So that is what we are going to talk about today. I'm going to tell you how to add value to your network so that you can be successful and that you have a great reputation with your network. We want to talk about that, how to build a great, formidable network. Okay. How many of you want to join our WhatsApp groups for regular updates on our webinars and other things? Okay. I'm going to share this link with you, all of you here. Bye bye, everyone. Have a great day. Okay. Here's the link for our chat group. Feel free to join this. Is there anything? Take care, guys. Bye bye. Have a great day.